asking, you know what? If they're not here at the start of service, they don't get to do the part.
Oh, I got to text me. Be there in 2 minutes.
Oh, good. Well, it gives you an opportunity to.
Yeah. Are we live on the thing? No, it's okay. I just wanted to know. Yeah. That is correct. You tell me. It's okay. It's a little bit of all my face here. My face a little bit. Mic check, mic check. Yeah, that feels good. I'm gonna make my announcement. No, I mean, I was happy to do it over her. I never problem with that at all. It was actually really lovely. I thought actually to have the guitar underlay it. It felt less formal. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. It's great to see everyone here. What a blessing it is as we gather underneath our beautiful WTBI tent, our Mishkan, that helps us gather together a little bit more cooler, doesn't say a little more coolly than not having the shade.
I don't know, Rabbi. This feels very cool.
We're very cool.
We're hip.
We're down. I love it. And so it's really great to be able to experience the joy and the warmth, both literal and metaphorical, together of coming together for Shabbat. One quick announcement, just as a reminder, that we want everyone to please maintain their mask vigilance during the service and our social distancing as well. And again, I know it is sort of a bummer. We certainly acknowledge it. But right now, according to our guidelines, we aren't doing any communal singing. And so the cantor will lead us in song, and we can clap, we can snap, we can body percuss. We might even have a special treat for you a little later in the service in order to so we can all make music together. So we appreciate everyone's cooperation with us as we continue to maintain our COVID-19 protocols. With all that said,
I think we need Shabbat.
I know I do.
I need some Shabbat.
We have our Shabbat booklets here where you'll find all of the prayers, and you'll open and you will find Hine Matov.
Hine Matov u'manayim sheberachim gam yachad. 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 Lechu neranena, yai rai 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 rai. Adonai, yai rai 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 rai. Nariya, yai rai 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 rai. Etzor yishreinu. Yai rai rai Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharim, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharim, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bohem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zein Chem V'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharim, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharim, Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We continue with our opening inspiration as we read responsively. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. Together, there are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. We're now going to continue as we welcome Shabbat with our candle lighting. I'd like to invite up Lynn and Yair Safriel, along with whichever other Safriels want to come forward as well, of course, to light our candles and lead us in Kiddush from here. I also want to say a quick Shabbat Shalom to everyone watching us virtually today, those on Zoom and on YouTube. Shabbat Shalom to you all. Say hi to Pete, because Pete's running the slides today, so you can say hi to Pete.
Hi, Pete.
Okay. And so you have
Right.
your...
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
There's
No, it's a lighter theme.
yeah. Gonna go old school, right? Yeah, blue.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Oh man. Now we have the Kiddush reading. Kiddush reading. Cup English.
Oh, in English. Okay, sorry, I was looking for it in Hebrew.
Yeah, in the mic. There we go.
The 7 days consecrated to the eternal our God with wine, our symbol of joy. We celebrate this day and its holiness. We give thanks for all our blessings, for life and health, for work and rest, for home and love and friendship. On Shabbat, the eternal sign of creation, we remember that we are created in the divine image. We therefore raise the cup in thanksgiving.
Hold up the cup.
Okay.
Any cup. And they're all juice.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, yu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim, ki banu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
Chaim.
Thank you.
Ay, 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 lecha dodi. Ay, 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 librat kala. Ay, 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 pene Shabbat. Ay, 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 nekabela. Ay, 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 lecha dodi. Ay, 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 librat kala. Ay, 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 pene Shabbat. Ay, 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 nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'tzibor echad. Shmianu el hamichad. Adonai echad shemo echad. Shemo tiferet v'elitila. Ay, 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 lecha dodi. Ay, 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 librat kala. Ay, 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 b'nei Shabbat. Ay, 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 nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha. Mekor haveracha. Mirosh mikedem nesucha. To'achaseh b'machshavat tefillah. Ay, 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 lecha dodi. Ay, 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 librat kala. Ay, 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 b'nei Shabbat. Ay, 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 nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri. Iba orechu, ori, uri, uri, shir daveri. Lord Adonai, alai tiglah. Ay, 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 lecha dodi. Ay, 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 librat kala. Ay, 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 b'nei Shabbat. Ay, 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 nekabela. Go'i v'shalom, matereh ba'ala. Kam besimcha u'b'shokolah. Toch emunei am segula. Go'i halak, go'i halak. Ay, 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 lecha dodi. Ay, 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 librat kala. Ay, 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 b'nei Shabbat. Ay, 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 nekabela. Ay, 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 lecha dodi. Ay, 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 librat kala. Ay, 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 b'nei Shabbat. Ay, 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 nekabela.
We continue as we set our intention, we focus our minds to pray. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer in the mystery of a withered leaf, unripened fruit so fair, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Together, teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. Let's now rise for the Baruch Hu, our call to worship.
turns to night, roll into dawn, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, Olel or mipnei choshech, Olel or mipnei choshech, choshech mipnei or. Roll into dawn, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dawn, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dawn, into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Ha'ed.
Please be seated. Let's continue now with the Via Hafta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם המזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We continue now as we march together towards freedom with joy and rejoicing. Mi chamocha.
Night long. And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove was one which sang our history. With every strand and every thread she crafted her delight. A woman touched with spirit as she did this for 4th of life. At home in our space, let me see you stand up and dance. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. When Miriam stood upon the shore and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she seemed to believe. Whoever thought that was part with an outstretched hand, and we would pass to freedom and march into the promised land. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced all night long. Guitar solo. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her, just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, she sang with praise and might. We've just lived through a miracle. We're going to dance tonight. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced, and the men, they danced the whole night long.
What I love about the egg is that it actually reaches the maximum of my musical capabilities. So I can do this. Awesome. What a wonderful rendition. That was lovely. Thank you so much. Fantastic. What great energy. What great spirit. We're now going to continue as we rejoice in God's protection as we continue with Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom Ve'hamidenu Shomreinu Le'chaim. Spread the shelter of beautiful peace over us. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom Hamidenu Shomreinu Le'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom
We now rejoice in the gift of Shabbat as we continue with Vishamru.
Asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'shameru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat v'shameru la'asot et hashabat le'dorotam berit olam v'shameru
As we reach upward in prayer, we sense these qualities in our Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. It's my pleasure to invite Sarah Safriel to come forward to lead us in the Amidah HaTefillah. It's going to be Sarah's bat mitzvah tomorrow. And so she's going to lead us today in a little bit of prayer. Let's all arise together.
Adonai sevatev tiftahu fi kita hilateha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rahel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Dekone Hako, Bezoher Haste Avot ve'imahot, Uvme vigula livnei v'neham, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Mele Ozer Umashia Umagin, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mehaye Hakol, Atarav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mehayel Haim Behesed, Mehaye Hakol Berahamim Mapim, Zomet Noflim Berofe Holim, Umatir Asurim, Hayem emunato lishanei afar mihamoha ba'agivurot umidomela melech memit haye umatmia Yeshua v'ne'eman ata laha'ayot hakol Baruch ata Adonai mehaye hakol.
Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom hallelujah selah. Baruch ata Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. Yasha Koch, beautiful job. So wonderful.
You know what? For those of you at home, if you're able to add into the chat, I need some new ideas, some new items of things of thanks, some gratitudes that we have. I have a long list from a few months ago that I create each week, new verses for us. But you know, I think we're in a new place. I think we have different things that we are grateful for. So those of you at home, please add to the chat those things which you are grateful for. And for those of us here, please share them with me afterwards, all right? Whoa, whoa, right here, right now. Whoa, whoa, right here, right now. Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach. I will give thanks for Shabbat, a time I can rest with family and friends to feel I am blessed. Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu. I will give thanks for our songs. My heart beats in time, clapping with others, a feeling sublime. Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach. Whoa, whoa, right here, right now. Whoa, whoa, right here, right now. I will give thanks for this life.
Let's now continue with a prayer for peace. Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim we take a moment for ourselves, for our prayers. No matter where you are, if it's here at TBI, if it's at your home, take a moment during this prayer for peace and find the sunset. It's painting the sky. Take a look behind you. Take a look out a window. Oh, say shalom. Shalom Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Shalom, shalom, Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May we find peace. May the one who makes peace bring peace down.
We now continue as our thoughts turn to our loved ones and members of our community who are in need of healing. At this sacred moment of prayer, we think about them, all they've meant to us, and we lift up their names and their spirits in this prayer of healing. Let's join together. We're going to listen to the cantor with Misha Barak and add our own thoughts and prayers in this sacred moment.
Misha Berak Mekor habracha le'avoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
We are thinking of at this moment, wishing a refuah shlema to Evan Bin, Joe Brickman, Joel Broida, Laura Carlos, John Conway, Mark, Benjamin, and Brian Edelstein, Danielle Heyman Feist, Linda Fine, Eric Fisk, Iris Fisk, Robert Gold, Buddy Green, Vicky Hano, Clay Ispitz, Louis Ispitz, Lori Cattleman, Jerry Klein and Bonnie Brzezowski, Hank Corin, Wendy Sugarman Krosnoff, Stephen Levine, Dr. Sonia Link, Elsa Mikosh, John Parsonson, Bob Pizzuti, Ruth Poehler, Victoria Richards, Jane Rifkin, Jess Rifkin, Don Rolander, Rhoda Ross, Liesel Schick, Bob Seiler, Dr. Cindy Steinman, Pete Tanner, Hillary Weinberg, and Marcy Weinberg. If you mention the name of someone you are thinking of at this time, please raise your hand and mention their name aloud.
Mi sheberach imotenu, mekor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. And let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So about a month ago, my family, for the first time in about a year, took a little bit of a day trip. You know, our sightseeing through Pinellas and Tampa and other counties sort of got cut short for some unknown reason. And so we finally got a chance to take a little bit of a trip. We went down to Sarasota, which was a lot of fun. We went to the Ringling, and the kids really wanted to see the Circus Museum. We explored the grounds. That was a lot of fun. And there was one other place that I was sort of very interested in going, just to take a peek to hear what all the fuss was about. And that was Yoder's Amish Market and Restaurant. I had heard good things. Has anyone been down to Yoder's? We got a few folks who've been down. Yoder's is a pretty famous place, I guess, in that area for their food and also, I guess, their pie. Any big pie fans here? A few. It's a little bit of an open secret, I think, among some members of the congregation that the rabbi happens to really enjoy a slice of pie. And certainly when we get back to having onegs, our first oneg I have already proclaimed will be a WTBI pie oneg. And so I'm really excited, looking forward to it. Hopefully that all works out. So it was exciting. We looked around, we saw some of the different wares. And while we were there, we decided to pick up something else that was, on the shelf, which was old school. What do we got here? Can everyone see? A little bit of Amish country popcorn. I don't know what makes popcorn Amish. But that being said, it is Amish country popcorn. And we said, what the heck, a little something different, a rainbow unique blend of popcorn. We were very disappointed the popcorn wasn't actually rainbow colored when it popped. It looked like regular popcorn. That being said, it's nice, it's bright, it's colorful. When we have a bag of popcorn like this, can we eat it out of the bag? No, that won't work really well, right? So what do we do with popcorn like this? We have to heat it up, right? We have to, pop it in some way, right? We have to apply some heat in order to get this to work. It also gave me an opportunity, much to Ari's delight, to buy an NHL Stanley Cup shaped popcorn popper. So, yay. And so we were able to use that, pop some popcorn, and enjoy a very tasty snack. This brings me to the popcorn corollary of Jewish thought. What is that, you might ask? Well, let me tell you. According to Jewish tradition, we all have a kernel, a kernel of holiness within us. We learn in Genesis, we are created in the divine image, B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God. God implants a divine spark or kernel within each and every one of us. We all contain something special, something unique, something God-given. But having this kernel is not enough, but represents all of our potential for holiness. Like a popcorn kernel, it is a seed which must be tended. As we learn in this week's Torah portion, Kiddushim, God commands us to nurture this potential and actualize it through living a life dedicated to holiness. We read, Kiddushim tihiyu ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem. You shall be holy because I, your God, am holy. When the commentators look at this text, they notice that God and Moses direct the people as a unit, as one community. It's all in the plural. The entire Israelite community congregation is assembled. Why is this the case? Rabbi Moses Alshich gives us an explanation. He writes, God exhorts humanity to be pious and holy and to emulate their maker. However, many people falsely assume this can only be achieved by a select few, only by a chosen few, and thus they fail to seek ethical and spiritual perfection. This is a mistake, inasmuch that every Jew can improve their standards and attain holiness, if only they were to strive for it. What a beautiful sentiment. Holiness is not only the purview of a select few. We can all attain holiness together if we are willing to put in the effort. But how do we live this life of holiness? What actions do we need to take? If we look at Kiddushim, if we look at this Torah portion, we see there's so many wonderful, meaningful, ethical mitzvot, ethical commandments that are supposed to guide us on this path of holiness. Honoring and revering one's parents, taking care of the poor, leaving a portion of your field for the poor to come and glean, not to lie, not to cheat, to have fair business practices, not to steal, not to stand idly by when your neighbor bleeds, to love your neighbor as yourself, to love your neighbor as yourself, to love the stranger, to honor the elderly. In order to live this life of holiness, we have to strive to the highest ethical standards and perform acts of gemilut chasadim, acts of loving kindness. We all have the capacity for holiness, this kernel implanted within us. But unless we make the effort, unless we apply the energy, this kernel remains cold, stagnant, with no value. Living this way doesn't help anyone else, doesn't help ourselves. In fact, we do ourselves a disservice and do our world a disservice when we keep our holiness inside. Living a holy life takes effort, like everything else. We need to practice every day another act of kindness, another act of peace, another act of love, another act of justice. Over and over again, investing our effort so we can get the best out of our endeavors. We can keep getting better. All it takes is practice. We can't become a great tennis player, for instance, unless we practice on that backhand, right? Right. You can't become a skilled piano player unless you practice at the piano, at that keyboard, playing all the time. And of course, as Sarah can tell you, and certainly Rachel before her, B'nai Mitzvah takes a lot of practice. That's right. Learning our Torah portion, our Haftarah, all of our prayers, taking the time to practice over and over again. And then we learn and we grow. Just in the same way, we cannot become holy unless we put in the energy. My friends, as we continue on in our Jewish journey, Let us all commit to tending our kernel of holiness. Let us put in the effort to lead lives dedicated to acts of kindness, justice, and peace. For when we do so, our kernel will burst forth. In that moment, we will fulfill God's vision for us, our vision for ourselves, and if we all work together, our vision for a better world for us all. Shabbat Shalom. We now continue as we rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol la'tekedu la'liotzer bereshit shalo asanu kigoye ha'aratzot velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama shalo sam chelkenu kahem vegor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'malech al kol ha'aretz Vayom hahu yihye Adonai echad Ushemo echad.
'Tis a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, to hope, to dream, to be and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this and the holy thing, a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, and a holy thing, to love what death has touched. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, let us meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We recall the loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. We are in the Shloshim period for the memory of Beverly Rosen, wife of Mel, mother of Daniel Rosen, and her spouse Melissa, proud grandmother of Peyton and Braden, and loving aunt of Robert. We're also in the Shloshim period to the memory of Judy Fine, wife of Frank Fine, proud mother of Rachel, husband Richard, and grandmother to Billy and Cash. And the Fine and Wilson family are with us tonight to extend to them our deepest condolences on their loss. We're also observing the Shloshim period for the memory of Elaine Miller, wife of Butch, proud mother of Adam, Amy, and Sarah, loving grandmother of 8, beloved member of our community. We are also thinking of those who have died in the past year. Howard Rubin, Sheldon Ginsberg, Larry Krug, Gene Weissman, Jacob Jack Moshvitz, Jerry Bender, Solomon Bloom, Max Schmid, Louis Lederer, Deborah Nader, Ted Ross, Helen Roth, Ruth Jean Oberlander, Mark Enfinger, Alan Beer, Judy Guy Strickland, Carolee Pizzuti, and Ethan Perry. We also think of those who died this season in years past and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. We're observing the yahrzeit this week of Sam Beanstalk, Sarah Bennett, Alexander A. Berger, Helen Bishop, Sue Borman, Bess Entell, Eleanor Feit, Herbert J. Frank, Darwin Frank, Sanford Glanz, Judy Gottenberg, Margie Granoff, Clyde C. Hennenman, Esther Hershoren, Louisa Eagle, Alexander Eisenman, Tessie Jacoby, Faye Joseph, Louis Joseph, Benia Candel, Fami H. Kempner, Eliezer Kentov, Minna Kipling, Ellen Kirstein, Carolyn Joy Crone, Selma Levitt, Seymour Littman, Sylvia Morris, Mildred Orr, Philip Pollock, David Ruffenbender, Ira Rosenfeld, Ida Ruttenberg, Mary Goldberg Stern, Miklos Slevovitz, Marlene Van Posnak, Paula Wallace, Edward Weiss, Edith Winner, and Carol B. Jovanovich. If there's anyone else observing a yurt site or saying Kaddish for any reason, you can please mention their name. Joining together as one community, we continue now with Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divra Cherutei V'yamlich Malchutei, B'chayechon Uvyomechon Uvchayei Dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala Uvzman Kariv V'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mivarach Le'olam L'almei Almaya. Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitroman V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitalev V'yithalal Shmei D'Kudusha B'rechu Ve'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tishvechata V'nechemata Da'amiran B'yama V'imru Amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel V'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to Israel, and all of the world. As together we say, Amen. Please be seated. It's now my pleasure to call to come forward our temple president, Nina Warshawski, for a few synagogue announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, Temple B'nai Israel. Thanks for coming out and joining us in our outside sanctuary. Thanks to WTBI for funding the tent. Sefro family, Mazel Tov. You have a beautiful voice. I hope you know that. I just wanted to say everyone could Zoom in tomorrow and watch Sarah's bat mitzvah. Check your temple email and the Zoom link is on there. It's going to be awesome. I can already tell. Next Friday, April 30th, is our annual meeting at 5:30. Come hear about how the temple is going to return, reconnect, and re-energize next year after a year that was, out of the ordinary. We have 5:30 annual meeting, and then it's going to be followed by a Shabbat service. That's going to be all via Zoom. As I said, WTBI is extremely generous to our temple. They did the tent. They provide scholarships to students who maybe go to camp or have a trip to Israel. Part of the way they do that is they raise money throughout the year. And right now they're running one of their fundraisers for Mother's Day, where they've made custom-made Mother's Day cards that you can order. They will put them together, they'll customize them, and they'll mail it to your mother, to your aunt, to your sister who's a mother, to the person who you wish was your mother, just pretty much anybody. And it's a great way for them to raise money and an easy way for you to get a card out in the mail. I also would like to thank everyone who sponsored and participated in the Food Fest this past weekend. It was a huge success. It helps obviously with our fundraising effort, and this year it was challenging, but the drive-through Food Fest has been extremely successful. So thank you to everybody. In May, we're going to have some fun Shabbats. We're going to have our senior send-off for our high school seniors who are going to college. We're also going to honor Bridget, who's been our youth director for the last several years. She's actually moving on and going to rabbinical school. So our youth has inspired her to take the next step in her Jewish studies. And we're also going to have the adult B'nai Mitzvah ceremony. They're going to hopefully do as well and as beautiful as Sarah's going to do tomorrow. But they've literally been working years on preparing for this service. So I hope everyone can listen via Zoom. I believe it's going to be in the sanctuary. And with that, I do want you to know that we are in the process of installing video cameras and an upgraded sound system, so we can return to the sanctuary, obviously within some, guidelines that we're going to put into place, but we are returning in May. So I hope to see you there. I hope to see you on Zoom. I forgot to thank everybody. Eve, thank you. You're a great addition. Cantor, can't wait to belt it out with you. Rabbi, thank you. And Dan in the corner doing the sound. Great job. Again, Shabbat Shalom, Temple B'nai Israel.
Thank you, Nina.
All right. So if you're at home, find yourself a bissel anash. We've got a challah. Rabbi, will you uncover that for us?
Come on up.
There's something hiding under there. Phew, I don't have to do it tonight. I'm getting kind of tired. Right into the mic.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech hamotzi lehem min haaretz. Amen.
Avon. You're hired, kid. All right, let us join together for our closing song. May peace come to all. Od yavo shalom aleinu.
And let's all stand up together. Let's all rise in song. Clap it.
Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam, salam, salam aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam, salam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Shabbat shalom.